February 1, 2026. Pihu notices the brutal whip marks on Ishani's body and is deeply disturbed by the extent of Shashwat's cruelty. She urges Ishani to stop silently enduring the torture and to stand up against the injustice being inflicted upon her. Ishani, though emotionally broken, reveals that she is not weak and is consciously choosing silence for now. She explains that confronting Shashwat prematurely could worsen her situation, and instead, she is patiently waiting for the right moment to strike back and reclaim her dignity. February 2, 2026. Ishani is consumed by guilt and begins blaming herself for Shashwat's aggressive and violent behavior, believing she may have somehow provoked his anger. Her emotional turmoil deepens as she questions her own worth and choices. Meanwhile, Pihu refuses to remain a silent spectator and boldly confronts Shashwat. She accuses him of deliberately obstructing Ishani's education and growth, warning him that his controlling nature is destroying Ishani's future. February 3, 2026. At an important college meeting, Ishani gathers the courage to speak out and publicly reveals that Shashwat had falsely accused Anurag in order to protect his own interests. Her revelation shocks the attendees and sparks murmurs of disbelief. Later, Pihu further strengthens Ishani's stand by exposing Shashwat's pattern of lies and manipulation, revealing how he has repeatedly twisted the truth to benefit himself and maintain control over others. February 4, 2026. College students express their heartfelt gratitude to Ishani for standing up for Anurag and supporting justice despite the risks involved. They invite her to actively participate in the upcoming college fest as a gesture of appreciation. However, Ishani declines, choosing emotional distance as she struggles internally. Meanwhile, a furious Shashwat vows to destroy Anurag's life completely, seeing him as a threat to his authority and control. February 5, 2026. Driven by jealousy and resentment, Shashwat sternly warns Ishani to stay away from Anurag at all costs. His words are laced with humiliation and dominance, leaving Ishani deeply hurt. Later, during the puja ceremonies at home, Ishani feels painfully isolated as she is sidelined and ignored. The emotional neglect adds to her growing sense of alienation and helplessness within her own household. February 6, 2026. Anurag's life takes a shocking turn when he is arrested after Nandini files a harassment case against him. The arrest sends ripples of disbelief through everyone who knows him. Meanwhile, guests at Ishani's house whisper and question her about Anurag's sudden arrest, creating an atmosphere of judgment and suspicion that further unsettles Ishani. February 7, 2026. Pihu confronts Ishani for not openly supporting Anurag during his arrest, questioning her silence and hesitation. At the same time, Shashwat cleverly manipulates the situation in front of the guests, portraying himself as a victim and Ishani as irresponsible. Meanwhile, Anurag, refusing to give up, prepares to fight the case with his lawyer, determined to prove his innocence in court. February 8, 2026. Tensions escalate dramatically when Ishani and Nandini get into a heated argument, with accusations and suppressed resentment pouring out. Their confrontation leaves the household shaken. Meanwhile, Anurag desperately attempts to send a message to Ishani, hoping to explain his situation and seek her support, unaware of the storm brewing around her. February 9, 2026. Nandini invites Ishani to go shopping, attempting to maintain a facade of normalcy, but Ishani firmly refuses, unwilling to pretend everything is fine. Her refusal sparks tension within the family. Shashwat's sister openly praises Nandini while subtly belittling Ishani, implying that she is inadequate. The remarks deepen misunderstandings and widen the emotional rift within the family. February 10, 2026 Pihu remains resolute, insisting that her decisions are driven by her emotions and personal convictions, not external pressure. She refuses to be swayed by logic or caution. Meanwhile, Shashwat approaches Anurag directly and issues a threatening warning, making it clear that he will go to any extent to eliminate him from Ishani's life. February 11th, 2026 Shashwat shares his suspicions with Nandini, hinting that something inappropriate may be going on between Anurag and Ishani. His doubts quickly turn into obsession as he begins plotting to destroy Anurag completely once he uncovers the full truth. Nandini listens silently, aware that Shashwat's rage could lead to irreversible consequences. February 12, 2026 Ishani finally takes a firm stand and confronts Nandini, declaring that she will no longer tolerate insults or disrespect. She asserts her self-worth and demands basic dignity. Later, she boldly tells Nandini that if Shashwat truly wants her out of the house, he should pursue legal action instead of resorting to emotional abuse and intimidation. February 13, 2026 When Ishani is deliberately excluded from Yash's pre-wedding ceremonies, Pihu steps in and defends her, calling out the family's unfair treatment. Her intervention creates tension but also gives Ishani emotional strength. Later, Nandini stumbles upon Anurag's letter addressed to Ishani, a discovery that sets off alarm bells and fuels suspicion. February 14, 2026 During Yash's haldi ceremony, Ishani endures constant taunts from Nandini and cold, disrespectful behavior from Shashwat. Despite the humiliation, she maintains her composure. However, when they deliberately provoke her by questioning her character and intentions, Ishani finally snaps and retaliates with sharp words, boldly addressing the truth about their toxic relationship. February 15, 2026 Shashwat unexpectedly performs a duet with Ishani, creating an uncomfortable and tense moment. He then deliberately asks Anurag to accompany Ishani, using the situation to manipulate perceptions. Later, Shashwat publicly reads Anurag's letter addressed to Ishani, exposing her to humiliation and igniting further controversy within the family. February 16, 2026 Ishani insists that she was completely unaware of Anurag's letter and denies any hidden intentions. However, blinded by rage and insecurity, Shashwat accuses her of cheating on him with Anurag. Losing control, he physically assaults Ishani in a violent outburst, leaving her emotionally shattered and physically bruised. February 17, 2026 Anurag informs the principal of his decision to resign after being given a transfer, feeling cornered and defeated by circumstances. Meanwhile, Pihu confesses her love to Anurag in an emotionally unstable moment. She threatens to end her life if he rejects her, leaving Anurag deeply disturbed and trapped by her emotional blackmail. February 18, 2026 Anurag finally admits that he is in love with Ishani, even as he remains aware of Pihu's feelings for him. His confession complicates everything further. Later, a devastated Pihu accuses Ishani of ruining her life and stealing her happiness, placing all the blame on her despite her own choices. February 19, 2026 Pihu shocks everyone by publicly revealing Ishani and Anurag's relationship in front of stunned relatives. The revelation causes outrage and chaos. As Yash and Ankita strongly condemn Ishani, she refuses to bow down and fiercely defends herself, asserting her truth and refusing to be shamed for it. February 20, 2026 Despite admitting that she cannot force Anurag to love her, Pihu stubbornly refuses to leave his house. Her actions create a scandal. Meanwhile, Shashwat's family shifts the blame entirely onto Ishani, accusing her of manipulating Pihu and causing her to show up at Anurag's home. February 21st, 2026. Anurag pleads with Pihu to inform Shashwat about her whereabouts, hoping to defuse the situation. However, Pihu refuses, intentionally escalating the conflict. Later, an enraged Shashwat announces that he will file a kidnapping case against Anurag and demands that Ishani testify, placing her in an impossible moral dilemma. February 22nd, 2026. After a cruel twist of fate shatters her dreams and leaves her emotionally broken, Ishani begins distancing herself from everyone. She becomes evasive and withdrawn, quietly embarking on a personal journey to reinvent herself. Determined to reclaim her identity, she resolves to seek love, respect, and purpose on her own terms. February 23rd, 2026. When Ishani repeatedly calls Anurag, he ignores her out of fear and confusion. Pihu answers the phone instead and coldly informs Ishani that she is with him, deliberately provoking her. Later, Ishani confronts Anurag directly, questioning why he hid the truth about Pihu staying at his house and demanding honesty. February 24th, 2026. Shashwat accuses Anurag of being interested in Ishani only for her money, attempting to destroy his credibility. Meanwhile, Pihu stubbornly declares that she will marry only Anurag, regardless of his feelings. Later, under Nandini's manipulation, Pihu is provoked into filing a formal complaint against Anurag. February 25th, 2026. Ishani and Shashwat jointly accuse Anurag of exploiting Pihu, turning the situation against him. Their complaint prompts police action, and officers arrive to detain Anurag on allegations of having a physical relationship with Pihu. The arrest sends shockwaves through everyone involved. February 26, 2026. Anurag vehemently denies all accusations, maintaining his innocence. However, Pihu falsely claims that he acted inappropriately with her, leading to his formal arrest. Alone and devastated, Anurag recalls Ishani's harsh words and feels completely shattered, questioning whether truth will ever prevail. February 27, 2026. Pihu refuses to undergo a medical examination that could confirm Anurag's alleged assault, raising suspicions. Eventually, overwhelmed by guilt, she confesses to Ishani that Anurag was never at fault and that she falsely accused him out of revenge and emotional turmoil. February 28, 2026. Ishani is left stunned when Pihu places a shocking condition before her, one that could alter all their lives. Though shaken, Ishani regains her resolve. Determined to undo the injustice, she vows to prove Anurag's innocence and expose the truth, no matter how difficult the path ahead may be.